And welcome to the stream, everybody. I'm Braythorn. How's it going? Happy to see y'all. Sorry if you, I don't know. My Rodecaster's acting a little weird right now. So I had to swap to my second input on my microphone, and like it wasn't set up in OBS properly. It was weird. But anyways, we're here. We're ready. We're present and accounted for and stuff. I hope everybody's doing well. I am a little bit late tonight, of course, but that's part of my charm. But yeah, welcome everybody. Hope your week started off well. I try to ignore. Honestly, I usually try to ignore Twitter drama. It's not really my thing. It's not my scene, not my vibe. But I wouldn't say got caught up in some because I haven't weighed in yet. But there's definitely some stuff that happened there with I don't know. I feel like every now and then I gotta go through the whole like this is high volume seller versus boutique builder. One's more expensive than the other, and if you don't value the stuff that you get. Or the value that you get at the what comes with buying from boutique builder, then it's not going to make sense to you, and that's okay. And that's essentially what's happening. Although I will say that they're not completely wrong, but we'll maybe go over that a little bit. But what is up, Alucard? How's it going? It's Jord. What's up? Welcome. Bears Beats Battlestars. What's up? How's it going? Just grabbed some dessert and saw our boy Bray was on. How cool. It is cool. You're right. And dessert's cool. So, it's all cool. After 2 long years, had to drop my Substack. Like, so weird to see ads. It's Triple B. It's okay. That's this economy. That's how it's going. Sending $5-6 to some dude online is a luxury. It's not a necessity for sure, and you got to focus on the necessities. And I am totally understanding of that. That's why I'm not. You don't see me on here being like, "Hey guys, prime subs and do this and that." It's like if y'all want to do it, you can do it. If you can do it, you do it. If you cannot do it, do not do it. Vincent, welcome. TJ, welcome. How's it going? Braxton, how you doing? Hey, it's Tuesday on a Tuesday. Howdy, nerds. What's up, Robert? Dare D, welcome. How's it going? No clip. Yo, finally got a PC from Skytech. I have a 4070 Super, but the pre-build I got was more expensive than a PC I saw at Costco that had a 5080. Okay, no clip. That's gonna happen. The price might actually be different on the one that you purchased off of Skytech, whatever, But I'll say this, no clip. That PC that you see at Costco was built very likely because it's built, it's warehoused, it's shipped out, it's in their storage and whatever, yada yada. All that was done before the rising prices of RAM, which hit just like 2 months ago, or started rather about a month and a half ago, I should say, actually, a month and a half, 2 months, and the prices have spiked. So you will find PCs out there in big box stores that they didn't build that PC at Costco. No clip. It wasn't built in the back and then boxed and put out in the front for your purchasing enjoyment. That was built months ago, before it ever saw a Costco warehouse or a store shelf, I should say. So yeah, the supply chain for pre-built PCs for big box stores is quite a bit longer than you ordering a PC from Skytech, them building it with newer costs included, and sending it to you fresh. Very different. Observer of Thoughts, how's it going? And Robert, absolutely. Thoughts go out to veterans and their families for their service and sacrifice. Thank you. Braxton, thank you for being in both chats. I appreciate that very much. How's How's your night? It's okay. I'm tired today. I woke up too late to take my my chronic fatigue syndrome medication. If I do that, I will be up all night, and it's not good. My sleep schedule is a little messed up right now. So I'm pretty tired, but that's okay. I feel fine. Usually, I'm good to go, like for a few hours at least on stream, because I get a little bit energized by being, by flipping, switching on the camera, going live. All that just does tend to get me going a little bit. Observer Thoughts, thank you for being in both chats. I definitely appreciate that. Braxton, how you enjoying that PC? How's it treating you so far? And you did get both boxes, right? Because it was two. There was the motherboard box, and then the PC box. Government shutdown hit your flight. I watched your Sunday streams earlier today. Well, it's not quite that, but yeah, the trip to Chicago has been moved to next week. However, the PC for Black Friday with Alexander PCs should be launching Friday. Just a heads up. And because we're not going to be live streaming it, I told TJ, I was like, dude, if we were live streaming it and doing like the streaming gear giveaway during the live stream, doing all that kind of stuff, it would make a bigger splash. It's going to be a little bit softer of a launch that way, but it's a damn good deal regardless. What's up, Bone Shock? How's it going? Welcome. Yeah, I'm having a little bit of trouble with what's been going on kind of over the weekend, I guess. And some of y'all might have seen this if, like me, you're still somewhat in the habit of looking at Twitter. So essentially, there is a content creator who bought a very, very expensive PC from Paradox Customs. And this PC, like, I see what's in it. And while I don't think it should have been at the price it was, it should have been maybe a little bit lower. I also recognize that prices for things right now are inflated. And also, it has the most premium parts you can get in a PC, and a lot of them, because it also has a ton of fans in it that are like excessive. I'm talking about the Lee & Lee LCD fans and such. And although the ones that are in the push-pull configuration are not LCD, it also has more unifans in a push-pull configuration on the radiator with a Trix cooler. And it's just like all of the things that cost a ridiculous amount of money. And people are like, oh, this one person who I respect and generally has pretty good takes had a capital L take on this, and we're going to talk about it. But I definitely have my thoughts, as you guys know. I tend to think and have thoughts and share them. And some of y'all are down with that, and that's why you're here. But, we'll get to that when we get to it. I'm just getting started here. So are we all. Okay, great. What's up, Peckish? How's it going? What's up, TL Foreman? How you doing? Blueberry Freedoms, how you doing? What cools better, air or liquid? If you really want to boil it down to like the most basic terms, Like better is, I would generally go with liquid, but there's other benefits to liquid cooling and there's benefits to air cooling, depending on what you value most. If you value having no moving parts other than the fan, then that's the air cooling. You want to go with that if you're worried about it. But generally, all-in-one liquid coolers are very, very reliable, and you'll find very good performance even on the cheapest. That's all coolers actually. I mean, there's that's why Thermalright's made such a big splash. But it honestly a big thing for me, and Peckish says it right here. I feel like all-in-one liquid coolers tend to get out of the way of enjoying the look of your PC, because a big air cooler kind of takes over the aesthetics of your PC. You can't see your motherboard. It's kind of hiding stuff. And I like the way an AIO just has a pump block there and it gets out of the way. But the main reason, Blueberry, that I recommend AIOs is because I talk about pre-built companies, and they have to ship PCs. And if you're talking about shipping something with an all-in-one liquid cooler versus a big honking air cooler, it's actually a lot safer to ship something with an all-in-one liquid cooler, because most of the weight of the cooler is mounted securely to the chassis. Whereas with an air cooler, it's 4 or 2 screws holding it to the motherboard, and all that weight's hanging off the socket. Fine if you're not moving the thing, but for DIY builders, that's generally fine. But for shipping PCs, it can happen that as you're shipping a PC with a big air cooler, it can shift a bit and lose its good contact with the integrated heat spreader of the CPU. Then it has to be remounted, and your average pre-built buyer doesn't buy a pre-built so that they have to open it. Quite the opposite, actually. So I just like the secureness of an all-in-one liquid cooler. Plus, they handle heat spikes better. If your heat spikes because you open up something that's very demanding, or it's peaking for just a second, then it comes back down a little bit, liquid coolers handle that a lot better. TL Form, I'm doing pretty well. Just chilling. Silent Furies, how's it going? Good. And TJ Sparks, hello from the Twitch side as well. Thanks for being in both. Is Meta PCs a good buy? By and large, yeah. Meta PCs builds really, really good computers. I also have a code with them that I rarely go with them as a recommendation when I'm doing individual ones during sort of these tougher times, because it's like there's a lot of builds where people are trying to squeeze the most out of their budget. But Meta PCs is super solid, and they're very good people over there. From all my interactions with them and from their behaviors as well, including when light gaming PCs shut down, they picked up all those warranties for nothing, really. So that was good. Can't say I've seen who has said what's been going on. Interested to see and hear about it. Okay. Well, you're going to get my take as long as you're okay. Well, I mean, you're going to see other people's takes on it, but yeah. But you know how it is right now on social media. Someone hears something that can be construed as negative, they construe it as negative and sort of jump on it. That's 90% of the time. And then everyone piles on the hate train. And I'll tell you right now, Paradox Customs is not deserving of that. Vince Man 11, how's it going? Welcome. I tend to think as one that flip sells PCs that shipping is often an issue for me. Yeah. AIOs are the way, especially now that they're so accessible price-wise. Not too much to get the custom one for each PC, or the Instapack stuff. It kind of cuts in the profits. Instapack is expensive, man. That stuff is pricey. Yeah, social media is accessible. There is also positive things that can come from social media, but on the whole, it's not been a big win for humanity. I'll tell you. We weren't really okay. Peckish, that's a Google thing. You can just check that. You are holding the internet in the palm of your hand, or seeing it in front of you there. Yeah, you already got it. It's negative. We'll put it that way. Yeah, humanity, we're not necessarily meant to be connected to all people, all information at all times, all at once. It's pretty rough on the psyche, says the guy on the internet. Hi. Vince Man says, is it hard to find a good pre-build for cheap? Yes, right now, actually, 100%. If because everything is expensive right now, even budget PCs. So yeah. But generally, if you want help finding a pre-built, you want to fill out the form. Alucard, Armada Alucard Markov there has gone ahead and drop that into chat for you. Click that link, fill out the form, and you'll get on this list right here to get some help. Sorry, let me get to the bottom here. Let me get to the bottom of this. There we go. You'll get on this list to get some help. And that forces you to, instead of asking vague questions and hoping for helpful answers, it puts you in a position where you have to provide the helpful information that anyone who's making a recommendation to you needs in order to make a helpful recommendation, not just a generalized recommendation. Me and Mikey had a heck of a night or morning, but I'll tell you, Sick PCs is on the ball with tech support. What a good guy. Was there an issue? Sorry to hear that, Braxton. Did something shift in shipping, or was there a problem? Prices of RAM and now SSDs getting higher. We just got GPUs and CPUs cheaper. Yep. I mean, we're going to see it probably come around to GPUs again at some point. Hope not, but I mean, let's see how that goes. Yeah, I'll send Discord. Okay. Yeah. Is David going to be here today, or did Goliath get in the way again? Yeah. Nothing with shipping. Okay. The PC stuff I ordered for Christmas to build my brother's PC is getting here any minute now. Very cool. I'm experiencing something weird. I ordered some stuff off of Amazon that was supposed to be delivered today. And usually if it's going to be late, they'll tell you like, hey, there's a delay in this. But all it says is ordered. It does not say that it was shipped at all. And it's supposed to arrive today. I'm just like, Amazon, you okay? Yeah, supers might be canceled in some way with the RAM prices. Yeah. Would not be surprised for GPUs since super cards are delayed canceled. Yeah. Well, I guess maybe I should get into this. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Okay, let's talk about this. So this is the tweet that kind of started it all. The link in your Discord and the Bray Live channel is like breaking. It keeps showing a preview image and getting rid of it over and over. Well, no, it's, I mean, I guess it's trying to show a consistent update, like a recent update, I suppose. So here's what happened. It's, yeah, this is Jared FPS saying new $10,000 PC from BR Paradox. Save the plastic peel for y'all. Now, while this is of course, this is a gorgeous PC that has absolutely top of the line everything. This is a 5090 in white, an Astral 5090 in white. Okay. Like, can you just think about that for a second? That's the price of a high-end PC in one GPU. All of these are Unifans and a bunch of them have LCDs. 5 LCD Unifans is a few $100s. Okay. Just by itself. And then you have, you know, push-pull configuration on the AIO, which is a Trix AIO, which by itself, the AIO with it, just as it comes, is like, what, over $300? 260, 270, something like that. I mean, this is an expensive computer. It's going to be expensive. But here's the problem. Jared FPS did not pay $10,000 for this computer. It is $9,000. Right off the bat, they're lying about the price. Now they're excited, and yeah, 9123. Now I will say myself that it is too much. Like, RAM prices can't account for that. But like, this motherboard is an extremely expensive motherboard. Okay, this is Gigabyte's Aorus. What's the name of it? But it's their overclocking centric. Okay, notice 2 sticks of RAM, 2 RAM slots only. Okay, all in white, EATX. This thing is a monster. Dual screens for showing codes, things like that, showing info. I mean, this is a monstrous motherboard. Okay. Now specs weren't listed. But you think someone's going to put a 9600X with a 5090 Astral in white? No, this is probably a 9950X 3D. Okay. This is easily a $7,000 PC, $7,000 PC, maybe 8 from a boutique builder. Because let's again, let's talk about this. Okay, we're just gonna turn this down. All right. Chat, we have to talk about boutique builders. Okay? Boutique builders are, they're different from a high volume seller. And it's just, think of it this way, okay? When you are sitting in line to get a cheeseburger at McDonald's, they are running thousands of people through that restaurant. I mean, they're selling so much food that is cheap, that profit margins are low, but they can do that because of the quantity they sell. High volume, okay? When you go to somewhere like Shake Shack, that burger, there's still maybe going to be a lot of people there, but the burger is way better with better quality ingredients. It tastes better. It's a better experience, and it costs you more money. Then, I don't know, go get yourself a gourmet burger from a Michelin star restaurant. That is an experience you will remember your entire life, and it costs you a lot of money. And that kind of explains the 3 tiers of PC building companies. Now, if you don't value the Michelin star experience, you're going to look at the price of going to a restaurant like that and be like, that's ridiculous. Anybody willing to pay that is an idiot, because you don't, as an individual, see value in that, which value, of course, is subjective. Now, if all you've ever had is McDonald's, a burger from Shake Shack might seem just as ridiculous as the one from the Michelin star restaurant. because it's neither of those is within your scope of subjective value. It's the same thing where, think about cars, right? By and large, they all have four wheels, an engine, seats, steering wheel, pedals, all that stuff. Yet, an AMG Mercedes is going to cost you a lot more than a Ford Taurus. They both do the same essential job. They get you from point A to point B. But people are willing to pay the extra amount it costs to get that AMG Mercedes car, rather than, I'm not going to get too much into car stuff. I'm just giving you an example. Rather than getting something like a Ford Taurus or whatever car you're looking at, right? Dodge Charger, whatever you want to say, okay? It's just, it's fine for that to be a thing. There is a separation between commodity and luxury goods, okay? Now, it's at base, a gaming PC is a luxury good regardless. Like, most people do not need one to get by. But the lower priced, sort of high volume ones that go out where you don't know what motherboard you're getting, you don't know what brand of RAM, what storage you're getting, it just says you're getting a terabyte. Here you go. You're getting 2 terabytes. Here you go. Whatever. That is what high volume sellers are often required to do, because they sell it at higher volumes. They can't always guarantee they're going to get the same motherboard, same power supplies, same storage, same RAM, all of that. So they don't tell you what it's going to be, so they're not lying to you. Okay? With a boutique builder, it is much lower volume. These are small businesses. They're smaller businesses, okay? You're talking about a difference, and let me make this clear, of the difference between 20 or 30,000 PCs sold per month. Bring that down to anywhere from 20 to 100, maybe 200. These are vastly different businesses. And the experience of buying from them and owning that product are vastly different. And for some people, they value the buying and ownership experience you get with a boutique build, and also the attention to detail that happens when you're building fewer PCs per week, per month, and the quality of parts, which, let's be clear, if you're going to build a PC with cheaper parts, the PC is cheaper. I don't know if you remember that from economics class. Vince Demand 11. Is it worth getting a $10,000 PC? I'm going to say this again. It was not $10,000. It was not $10,000. It was $9,000. But that's still, the difference between $9,000 and $10,000 seems like nothing, right? But it is. It is there. But also, this person doesn't just play games. They are a content creator. Okay? You're talking about a streamer, 100,000 followers on Twitter, okay? And they are a content creator. A PC has to do a lot more. It does a lot more stuff when you're a content creator like that. But you see what happens, though, Vince Demand. You turn it around and saying, I literally spent the first 3 minutes of this saying it wasn't $10,000, and yet you turn around and say $10,000. It's not. It's not that much. It is a lot of money. But the facts matter. They matter in a situation like this, because people will that $10,000 sounds like more than $9,000. It is. It is actually $9,000 is only 90% of $10,000. It's 10% less. But anyways, doesn't matter. But they said right here, and also they paid for it themselves. This wasn't just provided to them. Now, there's a lot that's being missed out on here. Paradox Customs is not overkill computers where they're selling they basically build these insane $10,000 PCs and, let's venture into selling cheaper PCs, and they sell a $1,500 PC for $3,000. They don't do that, okay? We go to Paradox's website. You go to start building and you start looking at some of these, and you look at something like this PC here that is $1,575. Are these all bargain bin, bottom tier parts? Is that the price that they put there with a 4060 or something? No. This thing already has 5060 Ti 16 gig, a not bargain basement motherboard, okay? Your 32 gigs of RAM. It has, Gen 4 storage, not the most basic storage there. It starts with decent specs right out of the box. You look at this one, that's $2,200. Well, this thing has a really nice motherboard, all-in-one liquid cooler, nice case, 2 terabytes of storage, a 9070 XT, and also, by the way, 2 terabytes of Gen 4 storage, 7,000 megabytes per second. I mean, they'll tell you what you're getting, what you're actually getting. Custom cables already included in the price, and you can change things up if it's not to your liking. Like, you're not going to just get this and have a mismatched motherboard that doesn't match the aesthetic. You're not going to have that. It's a white GPU, all of those things. If you get a white PC from Skytech, you'll have, in your gaming experience, it will be very similar, to be clear, okay? It'll be a similar gaming experience. But it's not going to look like this, where everything is aesthetically matched. Although this shows options, and that should be made clear. I don't actually think that... Oh, here we go. Actually, it does. They have it right there. And I think it's because I mentioned this to them a while back. Please note, our product images depict an overall computer build as it is assembled from various components. The final product may vary. Some of these things are options. You can get the streamer cables if you want. But, yeah, this is not the kind of buying experience you get if you go with a high-volume seller. If that doesn't matter to you, buy elsewhere. And I've said this many times, okay? There's a reason I don't do a tier list for pre-built companies, because for every individual person, that tier list would be different. Mine doesn't match yours. Because if, like, I personally, like, it's hard for me to justify buying boutique. I just, my money goes into gear. This is on. I'm talking into a $4,000 camera right now because I'm a YouTuber. But there's people out there who are like, this is my investment. This is where my money goes. I like, personally, when I do things like CES, Computex for myself, I'm usually paying most of that out of pocket, and it's not cheap. And I have to set aside my money, like anything other than bills and rent and all that stuff, go towards usually things like that or gear or whatever. So it's hard for me to justify that. So my tier list would probably have Skytech at the top, because I'd be like, yeah, this is something, if I were buying a PC, I could afford that. But then again, I grew up dreaming about getting something like a Falcon Northwest PC, which is absolutely boutique and top end. And now that there's more customization and cases, and there's, motherboards that, white motherboards can match a white case, and there's GPUs that match all that stuff, I would probably go for a white aesthetic, meaning that pushes me away from Falcon, whatever. The tier listing doesn't work because everyone has different priorities. Someone who wants a boutique experience should not buy from Skytech or iBuyPower, and someone who wants a price to performance PC should not be buying from Paradox Customs or Alexander PCs or Falcon Northwest or SICK PCs or any of these boutique companies that are focused on, like, making the PC of your dreams, not the PC of your budget. Right? If that budget doesn't allow for those luxuries. Now, should it have been $9,000? Well, I don't have a detailed parts list breakdown here, okay? I can tell you that every option that could be put into this PC is there. Every single option. I mean, it's bananas. I mean, just looking at this thing, there's nothing about this that says any corners were cut. At all. This has, of course, has the Trice curve screen on the cooler. You have 5 LCD screens on your fans. And people just, they don't see that. They'll see CPU, GPU, price tag. Unless they're the type of person that values this kind of thing where it's like, this is my end game PC, that's what we unboxed. Earlier this month, or late last month, we unboxed an end game PC and showing, like, hey, This is the kind of thing that you don't need to spend this much on a PC. But if you aspire to getting that thing that, it's like there's two ways to like, if you're buying a car, right? And I'm going back to the car thing. There's two ways to walk away from your car. You get out of your car, lock it, and you walk away. Go wherever you're doing. And then there's the walk away where you get out of your car, you lock it, and you walk away like this, just like. Because you put in that extra. You maybe customized it. You got some wheels and maybe a wrap or something like that. Or you just washed and gave it a wax, and it's just if you have that hobby, cool. If you don't have that, like if you don't value that, you're just walking away, going into the grocery store, whatever. You don't even think about it. So like let's not forget that. And also the fact that right now prices on certain components are spiraling out of control. Like spiraling, tripling prices of RAM right now, approaching triple price, standard price. And I talked about this on Sunday. Like this is what happens when you don't give enough context. And even so, there are going to be people who ignore that context and will call you an idiot for doing something that they as an individual wouldn't do and do not value. And you just can't listen to those people. Now, I want to talk about the L take that came from this. And I hesitate to, because I don't like to put anybody on blast when it comes to an opinion. And now I want to be clear that there's a lot of this that I do agree with. Okay? But let's talk about PC Philanthropy. PC Philanthropy has had a lot of great takes. I follow them on Twitter and all of that. But they said you got overcharged by about 4K, and that's being extremely generous. If you had basic fans, not push-pull configuration, a basic cooler, and a way more basic motherboard, maybe 6K, 5K. But this cooler right here is like more than half the price of that. That's $3,500 right there. And the rest of this PC is very premium. But then they said afterwards, for comparison, you can get a high-end build, and they're right. Look at this. Falcon Northwest, Meta PCs. Then it comes to Alienware, and we're going to talk about that. NZXT, no. Skytech Gaming, yes. And others for significantly less than 10K. And you know what? With these parts, you're approaching like $8,000 of Falcon Northwest, and it will not look anything like this. Like, you can't spend the extra getting a white Astral 5090. They just don't carry it at Falcon Northwest because they don't do PCs this RGB'd out, this customed out. They don't do that. You can get a pretty picture printed on it. That's as far as Falcon Northwest is going to go because they have something that works, and their client base, their customer base, knows that and likes that. But let's talk more about this here, okay? Because here's what was said later on. And I had a response to this. With all the talk around $10,000 PCs, you can currently get a top-end Alienware Area 51 for around $5,000. I have this exact model, and it has been an absolute pleasure to use. Now, let's talk about this Alienware right here, okay? This is the newest model from Alienware, okay? This does something that they were long overdue for, and it basically upgraded their cooling, and they're now caught up to 2016. Good job, Alienware. They actually have, a more full-sized AIO. They have decent intake on the front, and this motherboard will go into a standard ATX case. Does that make it ATX standard? Well, according to PC Philanthropy, that would appear so. Doesn't it have proprietary stuff you can't repair/upgrade? Nope, this unit is standard ATX, says PC Philanthropy. Well, I added my own little reply to this. Nope, not ATX standard. And what do I mean by that? Oops, that's the wrong button. Hold on, I meant to do this. I got to move this over if this is going to work. Nope, not ATX standard. ATX 12VO. Screw holes in the right place, yeah, but the motherboard and power supply can't be used in any other system. Still lots of e-waste coming out of Dell. Happy to hear you're on board with pre-builts, but please stop spreading misinformation, brother. And he actually liked this. He liked the comment, and he said, correct. My point was you can replace the motherboard and PSU with standard ATX components if you want/need to. So the thing is, later on, I believe it was he mentioned again, like, no. The motherboard is standard ATX. It's like, it's not standard ATX. Because that's 24-pin power. Like the power supply and the motherboard are ATX 12VO. It is a 10-pin connector, and it only does 12 volt. Because this makes the motherboard responsible for doing your 5 volt, et cetera, okay? And this was a thing that was supposed to be a really big deal back in like 2022, 2023, or maybe a little earlier, okay? The only place where it got any traction was with Dell. Because motherboard manufacturers were like, this is going to cost too much for the motherboard, and it's too much on the motherboard, and we don't want to do it. So we're not going to do it. Okay. We're already looking at this gigabyte stealth stuff, and we're going to have to do something with that. Like, no. Like, this is extremely obvious, by the way, if you know what you're looking at. Because let's open this picture in a new tab here and just zoom in like a little bit. Where's the 12 pin? No one would look at this and call it standard, though there is a standard, and that is ATX 12VO. So I would just ask, because, you know, PC Philanthropy has a following that trusts him. Like, you have this thing sitting there. You took this picture. So don't spread misinformation like that. You should know better if you're like talking about this thing. And let's be clear. Okay? I want to be clear with you all about something. I have received PCs that I got to keep. When I had criticisms, I was all over it. I was literally with a PC that was given to me by Skytech screaming about the placement of the AIO. Do y'all remember that? The Vision PC. I went off the rails over the fact that the pump was near the top. It wasn't even fully at the top. It was near the top of the loop. And they changed it. And this was a free PC. Yeah. That is not going to stop me if I see something that is a red flag. And guess what? Skytech said, this is why we give you the free PC, because we need this stuff. We need to hear it. We want to hear it. But this PC was given to PC Philanthropy. What is this? Tiger Data. What is this? Whatever. But this PC was given to them. Let me see. Where do they say it? See, again. How is the cooling? Significantly better. This unit uses ATX standards. Like, you have to be specific. ATX standard cool. There's no standard for cooling. Cooling there's no ATX standard for that. No, that's not what that means. That's not what that means, dude. Come on, man. Come on. It means, yes, the mounting holes and fitment, motherboard measurements, although EATX is still murky and not really a thing. And of course, power. That's why 12V HPWR and 12V 2x6 are part of ATX 3.0 and 3.1, respectively, because power is part of the ATX standard. There we go, right here. Oh, dang. They let you keep that review unit they sent you, or did you end up buying one? They did. Now, that had to be brought up by somebody else, by PC Philanthropy, who, by the way, follows me too. Okay? Where is the disclosure of this? Where is the disclosure in your main post? Every time I do a stream where I'm talking about a PC or I do a video about it, I say, this was sent to me and I got to keep it. But my opinions are my own. This is not sponsored, yada, yada, yada. Okay? The only time I'll really focus on things like talking points is for sponsored content, and you get a disclosure of that too. But, brother, you got to say it. If you're going to promote Alienware, if you're going to... Remember, this is what the optics are on this now. That, you know, my mutual follow here, PC Philanthropy, okay, has basically called out a small business and said, no, don't give your money to that small business, especially during these times when prices are super, and you know, maybe, by the way, Paradox needed a little wake-up call on some of their pricing, because sometimes you have to have lean times when your prices are going up. You sometimes have to shrink your margins to remain competitive, and it looks like Paradox didn't really do that here. That's on them. But this is basically saying, don't give your money to a small business. In this post, the other posts he mentioned, quite a few of them, and then also Alienware and NZXT. No, but anyways, whatever. You know, Skytech was in there, Falcon Northwest was in there, good stuff. Meta PCs, but he's saying, don't give it to a small business. Give your money to a big corporation. All right. Not a big fan of that. But the main issue where do I actually have an issue? It is throwing around the term ATX standard when power is completely left out of this. So it does not meet ATX standards. It does not. It only partially does. You have to stop misinforming people if you're positioning yourself as any kind of authority in this, because it was stated multiple times, and I was not the only one to correct him on this. And there is no pin thing or whatever saying, no, the first thing you see is this unit is standard ATX. Like, our job is to cut through misinformation, not pile it on. And you know, it's difficult in this space right now. You don't want to sacrifice your credibility to appease a corporation that sent you a free thing, okay? Even if you really believe the stuff you're saying, it has to come with a disclaimer, a declaration of, this was provided to me and I got to keep it. And yeah, every time you say something positive about a product you were given for free, you should do that in good conscience. Otherwise, you're making it's bad faith. Now, chat, is that just me? Please weigh in on this. Because let's be clear. If you're given a PC from Alien, you don't have to put yourself through any of the buying experience that people have to go through when they're buying from Dell. And Linus Tech Tips has shown this plenty of times. All the predatory practices from Dell. Absolutely horrible. Though they seem to have maybe improved slightly, it's just like the PC. It's improved slightly, but it's still not standard. And this is still a motherboard and power supply that are more likely to be e-waste because of that. The only real benefit here is that, you can use the case, I guess, with another motherboard and power supply. Good for you. Okay, should have disclosed it. All right, what's up, Zelmov? How's it going? Bixie, how's it going? How's the night going? Night's going good. I'm yelling about computer stuff on the internet, yelling about drama. And like, to Paradox's credit, they came out and said, hey, this was not a $10,000 PC. It is expensive, but it wasn't $10,000. That was inaccurate. And seriously, Jared FPS, you're like, why are you lying about how much you spent on a PC? What is the flex there in this economy? That's not the flex you think it is. That you can just drop 10 grand on a PC. And it's not 10 grand. It was also, you're lying about how much you spent. Like, that's not a good look, bro. Come on. And PC Philanthropy. Like, I respect you, bro. Like, you got, but but you have to take your position seriously if you want to be an authority in this. It's okay to be wrong, but that's usually followed by correcting yourself publicly and obviously in a way people can't just ignore. You have to correct yourself and say, hey, I said this stuff about a product that was given for free, and I want to make sure that you understand that. My experience and my opinions are my own, yes, but it was given to me for free. Because you see, that does cut out a large part of the experience that people will have when they go to buy this thing. Okay? You also have a contact there, meaning if you have problems with your PCs, you have a direct line to support that they don't have. And also, you are someone who has taken apart PCs, put together PCs before. You know, you're in a different position than the average pre-built buyer. You have to put yourself in that mindset, okay? But then also, throwing around terminology incorrectly is something I have done before. And I'll usually come out and say, now, correct me if I'm wrong. Or I'll come out and say, I'm not sure, I'm not 100% on this, or whatever. Or I'll say, hey, I said was wrong about this. This is what it actually is. Here's what the actual information entails. There you go. This is what this term actually means. And though you were corrected multiple times, you're responding to most people that are saying positive things or trolling or whatever. But this post right here, there was one where someone said basically the same. There we go. Actually, did they like it? I can't actually tell if they liked it. PSA, motherboard and power supply are not standard ATX, rather ATX 12VO. So those two components couldn't be used with the standard ones by themselves. Very straightforward. Very straightforward. And this is someone who is a PC builder. But we can't see who liked it. But I imagine, actually, I could see PC Philanthropy liking it. But this did not lead to a correction, not even a reply. I think the only reason that I got a reply is because we're mutuals on Twitter. And I was more scathing in what I said. I was like, nah, dude, this is e-waste. Like, it's more e-waste out of Dell. Anyways, that's it. That's the drama. And I'm not like, why can't they list the exact specs after it's been built? Robert Johnson, most of the ones from Skytech have not been built. That's why it takes some time to be sent to you. Those are not ready. The ones on Skytech under pre-built are not ready to ship. They just have a very sophisticated process for building PCs that they can crank them out pretty quickly. So it just takes a few days and it gets sent to you. It's a work write-off and probably sponsored too. Tanmay, what is? Good to know the streamer paid for it. There you go. There are more to PCs than just performance. One can say many like the style and the quality of building process when it comes to a pre-built. Yeah, I'm sure if he calls Alienware for support, they will get the same responses like CyberPower PC. Yeah, but he doesn't have to call support for there because he can fix stuff himself. So that takes that's the thing. When you're at a certain level of experience with something where you feel comfortable with teaching others, it takes a lot to take yourself out of that enthusiast mindset. And we take for granted that stuff that we're used to. That's just every day for us. But if you're going to cater to, make content or anything educational or edutainment, you got to take yourself out of that mindset. You have to put yourself in the mindset of someone who doesn't know the thing you're about to tell them. And also, just being blatantly wrong about terminology is not good. If you're corrected, you humbly say, you know what? Absolutely right. You're right. Everyone, this is what I meant to say. Let me go through each time I said this term wrong, and I'm going to correct it. Here you go. That's the kind of humility it takes if you're going to be in any kind of position where you're trying to teach people stuff. Anyway, that's my thoughts. What's up, Dan? How's it going? Is this a you get what you pay for situation, or do you get less, more? It's going to vary from situation to situation, I guess. Compelled or obligated or fair words to avoid any mixed signals from the audience. Wait, what? Linus feels compelled to say he's an investor in Framework every time he mentions laptops, etc. He is obligated to do so, yeah. There's an article about BTF 3.0, which might try to be a new standard insert XKCD comic about standards. Yep. Yeah, triple standards. Zelmov, what's going on? 7 stream streak. Thank you for that. It's interesting that Twitch is tracking that now. Nope, not just you. Definitely needs to be said. And him spreading misinformation is bad. Yeah. Humans like rounding up or down for numbers since it doesn't have the same impact of a 10K PC versus 9K plus change PC. Rounding up is fine if it's $9,600. Like, that's how rounding works. But if someone's spending $9,000 on something, they might feel the need to. That's the thing is if you brag, if you're trying to flex, that to me is what tells me they're trying to flex. Dan, I don't think you were trolling. No, I'm fine. I mean, I figured you were actually ordering that PC. I hope you enjoy it. Watch out for the compulsory warranty. Yeah, weird flex, like a guy who pays for $50 a t-shirt just because it might say Supreme on it. I mean, like, to be fair, you can talk about the benefits of going with a boutique builder. That helps small businesses. That's good. I like that. But they didn't. There was no context. What is this post? Yeah, in Jared FPS's post, he just said, hey, look, a $10,000 computer, no context. I'm just going to pull this. Not like this is my new streaming machine for video editing, or this is what the parts it has, or like it has all these extra features that make it really nice. And also the build quality is amazing. They didn't show any cable management. They didn't show nothing. They're just like $10,000 box. Look what I can spend. Like, come on, man. That's going to get you a lot of hate when there's food lines right now. Is that me? Is that just me? Am I wrong to think that while there's people lining up to feed their children right now, being like 10K, like whatever, whether you meant it like that or not, that's a bad look. It's not good. People are going to be mad. And unfairly mad at a company that is well reviewed within our community by community members who've actually bought from them. Like, you're making it worse for other people. I don't know. I've like, there's some setup content, things like that could be pretty cool. My favorite is when it's on a budget. That's why there was a point where I was trying to do a little series of, called Battle Station on a budget, and I was trying to show how you could get a really sick setup for less. And that was started with a sit-stand desk that was way cheaper than IKEA and way better. And I did not continue that, which I should have. They should have used the term over 9,000 for sure. That would have been choice. That would have been way better. Sure, I've been getting this question a lot, but will RAM prices be going down like at all? Give it a couple years. It'll go back down. I don't know any better than the RAM companies, but they're speculating 1 to 2 years. Frowler, how's it going? Tech Blacksmith, how you doing? Chris Crawford, how's it going? Sorry I was yelling. Oh, Dan, by the way, not going to Chicago tomorrow. I'm going next week. Justin Lemming, what's up? Every word you said was valid. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I you know, when I love streaming because I get to get feedback directly from you guys. Doing videos, like it's hard for me right now. I'm not used to that. This is why I recorded the next upcoming video with you guys on Sunday. No, stop. Okay. Because I'm not used to shouting into the void anymore, which is what talking into just a lifeless camera sensor and not getting any feedback. That was hard, and I got used to it. I'm not used to it anymore. I'm used to mostly just live streaming now. So I should make a side trip to Philly for PAX Unplugged. I cannot do that. This is already difficult, a bit difficult for me as it is to do this trip. But yeah, I'd love to go to PAX Unplugged. I'll tell you, I really would. What day? I kind of want to go to Micro Center anyway. Side trip to APC for lunch might be cool. I should be there on Thursday and Friday next week. You were focused. I do get focused when I'm ranting. Hope everybody hit the stamp on their Braithorn bingo card. We got the rant out of the way. I spent $97.51.69 with tax, but I had a coupon. It says B2. What are you talking about? Oh, Steve. Hi. How's it going? Sorry. I really missed a lot of people coming in. I'm sorry about that, guys. And once I got the bit in my teeth, man, it's off to the races. I cleared my cookies and got hungry. Let's browse a few minutes. You'll get free cookies. Not yelling, provided heated debate. Zelmov, how about both? I was doing both. Alucard, of course, yeah. If I'm gonna go to PAX East again, I'll definitely let you know. Let's see. Why are you leaving prompt from Micro Center site is the free square anyway. True. We have this emote when Roby rants. I need to get just an emote of me yelling. Just yelling. Oh, I have one. Hold on. No. It's not animated. I forgot about this. I need to implement this like yesterday. Hold on. Who was there for the build stream with Emmett, by the way? Who was there for that? Okay, Discord stop. I hate when things freaking keep my hidden taskbar up. It's like, stop. Yeah, sorry. Also, sorry, Alucard. I had stopped. I got busy when we were talking about the drives. Where is it? Emmett sent this to me. Who was there for that stream? Because I had a he has the gross jelly beans, you know, and I told him I told him if chat makes him have one, I'll have it with them. Let me open this. Well, it was burnt rubber flavored. And it was actually truly disgusting. So it's a little, I might need to go back to the VOD and get a better shot of this, but this is what somebody sent. I was not making that face on purpose. I promise you. I look so angry. I look so angry. Yeah, no, they were like, no, this is a new emote for Bray. Here you go. But also, I can clip that and just make it an animated one. Mike Wazowski. Me as I wait for a game to download. Tombour Gaming. It was my taste buds, Alucard, but yeah, correct. Question: do you think 9950X 3D will sometime be on extreme sale like 5950X was at some point? 5950X was like 4 years old by the time it was on a like 3 or 4 years old by the time it was on an extreme sale. Everything, if there's any in stock, will eventually drop in price severely. But anything with an X3D on the end is going to remain at the top of the charts in gaming for a long time. So you can't expect it to really drop in price as much as 5950X. There was no 3D Vcache version of that. So when your son say Ford over Chevy, that boy I see when, I mean, I'm not a truck guy, but sure. Yeah. Perfect emote for RAM prices today. Yeah. But basically, when you do something like a special emote or something like that, I know that there's some of you guys who really, there's some people who like watch, they don't really watch streams that often, and I'm like one of the few. So maybe like you don't, these generally will have like a theme of some kind, and so if basically if I'm ranting a lot, these should be in chat basically to kind of recognize that I'm being grumpy, but it's not an unsupportive thing to do. Not this one. Now that's a good face palm, Dan. That is a good face palm. But yeah. Hey, are you building tonight, bro? No, I don't usually build PCs. Tonight, what I do most of the time is this. Oh, we have someone. We have someone who filled out the form. Okay. Guys, if you fill out the form, you do need to let me know if I'm not looking at it for sure. Vincent Paul Johnson. Okay, that's a full name. Why am I not hearing that? I need to turn that up. Okay, well the alert wasn't loud enough, but yeah, I hear it. Okay. Abixi, thank you for the Prime sub. Hold on, let me fix something real quick. Let's pretend I hadn't said that yet. Abixi, thank you for the Prime sub. Let's go, nerds. Yeah, 3 months of support. Thank you very much. There you go. I did the thing. I had that assigned. I had to swap my inputs, and yeah, we should could use an Super Saiyan, Super Saiyajin Bray. Yeah. I don't feel like making that though, but it's funny. RAM's so high right now. It is. Any motherboard brands I should avoid other than ASRock for my 7800X3D? Apparently, no, I don't think the 7800X3D was a problem, was it? It's a 9800X3D, so you should be fine with any motherboard brand. Well, or Chaos, it's gaming and streaming and content creation and video editing and music production. So we'll have the talk about expectations for sure. Okay, so Vincent Paul Johnson, are you here? They were here at the very beginning of the stream, but they haven't said anything in a while. It says they're still in chat. So, okay, here's how it works, guys. If you're looking to get help with a PC, you could just randomly throw questions into chat and maybe I'll respond. But the way to actually get help is to get yourself on this spreadsheet right here. And the way you do that is by filling out the form. The form will force you to answer all the questions right up front that I might have for you, minus a couple little detailed ones. Instead of me having to drag information out of you piece by piece, instead you have to give me all the information I need to make a good suggestion right off the bat. If you're watching on Twitch, that link has been posting in chat. It should have been. Yeah, Stream Elements. Want help getting the right PC for your budget and needs? Fill out this form. Yada, yada, yada. There you go. If you're watching on YouTube, check the description. Is the first thing in the description. Fill out that form. The next step, if you're watching on Twitch, you drop the free emote. If you're following the Twitch channel, you'll have a free emote available to you that says I'm on the list. Drop that in chat and you're good to go. And if you're watching on YouTube, you just have to type at Brayathorn, I'm on the list. I'm not going to, I don't have anything set up to give me, I don't know, an electrical shock whenever someone submits a form. I don't automatically know. You got to do it. See, Peter Loff, are you on the list? Yeah, leave it. It's okay. Oh, you're just showing. You're showing what it is. I don't think you're on the list, though. I haven't seen you on here for a while. How's everyone today? Good. But also, what's going on, Peter? How's it going? Oh, we have a hype train going. That's cool. Thank you, Bixie, for that. I don't know if anybody else did anything, but I appreciate that. Frozen Fusion, thank you for the follow. Also, Tombar Gaming, thank you for the follow. I've been on the market for PC for a minute. Can we still get away with $500 builds? Yeah, that's in the past. That is no longer a thing. Of course, depending on what you want to do. If you're just trying to have an email machine for your grandma or something, then yeah, there's mini PCs for that or whatever. And maybe you can build one from used parts. If you're trying to game, that's priced out of just RAM prices by themselves have destroyed that. But also the base price of motherboards, of GPUs, all that have just been slowly going up. Price creep has taken over. 7800X3D has temperature issues, though. Bixie's just keep an eye on temps. I mean, it kind of does. It'll self-regulate. Picked up a new iPad today. That's cool. There you go. I forget that you're an Apple person. You like Apple stuff. Next month, me and my nephew are going to buy a Moza R5 sim racing kit and build a seat frame from 2x4s. That's cool. Very fun stuff. We're going to get the 9950X3D regardless. Not want to go lower core than I currently got. Then I can repurchase 5950X for my nephew's PC. Well, as long as you know, you got to get the whole new motherboard and RAM and everything. Braithorn, so the Peerless Assassin isn't enough for cooling the 7800X3D. I already bought it. I wouldn't go with 7800X3D is very thermally limited compared to the 9000 series version, the 9800X3D, because the 9000 series one is where they move the 3D cache underneath the core complex die, so it's not insulating heat. It doesn't have the thermal issues the 7800X3D had. I would go AIO because like you can get a thermal right AIO for just a little bit more than a Peerless Assassin. And if you buy something, you can generally return it. I would do that. You want to give the 7800X3D as much room for performance as possible because it will limit itself otherwise. You know, the streak stuff is cool. So you guys can't see this if you're just looking at my screen for those who are watching on YouTube. But in Twitch chat, it will show it. And now, if you come to watch streams consistently on Twitch, you'll get things like bonus channel points and an announcement that you're on a 3-stream streak. Someone earlier had one that was like a 7-stream streak, which is really cool. Twitch is trying new things, and I think that's good. I think that's a good thing. So Vincent is no longer responding. We'll just wait around and see if they... What's going to happen is this. I'll bet you. It's going to be 11:30 p.m. I'm going to be like, all right, guys. Like I said, I was really tired today. I'm going to go ahead and end it. We're going to raid so-and-so. Something like that. And then they're going to be like, hey, did you skip me? It's like, you haven't been here for 3 hours. What do you mean skip you? You have to be here. You know, Twitch is really trying. That hype. They started a hype train for a single sub gift. Wait, sub gift. Wait, there was a gifted sub? Did I miss that? What gifted sub? Nobody gifted a sub. What are they talking about? That's crazy. Thermite 360mm AIOs are around $60 on Amazon and run like champions. They're very good. Yeah. What's up, Angry Beaver? How's it going? Welcome. Vincent needs to be found and unlocked again. We lost the save file. I don't want to do chocobo breeding. No. I don't want to do that again. Have to make a black chocobo just to find a character. A very cool character, though. Now, Thanksgiving's right around the corner. After prepare to feed. Unlocks jaw like a shark. I had 6 gold chocobo back in the PS1 days. Why did you need 6? Let's go and enjoy my Veterans Day with some brew and watching you, man. Well, yeah, happy Veterans Day to you. Vincent had to be found in the mansion, if I recall. The chocobo breeding was later on, if I remember. Oh, that was to complete his quest. It was to complete his quest. And that's how you get his, like, ultimate weapon. That's right. It wasn't to unlock the character. It was, you know how you had the quests, like, in the very late game to get everyone's ultimate weapons? Well, to get Vincent's, you had to do the... I think that's why you needed to breed chocobos. Sorry, chocobo. There's no S in plural, chocobo. Oh no, it's the Knights of the Round. Not again. Oh yeah, we're doing the 8 materia and Knights of the Round. Time to go make a sandwich. How else are you supposed to beat the weapons, man? Is the R5 7600 still good for COD 6 and Battlefield 6 in today's time? It's a little rough if you're playing at 1080p. It is, and even in higher resolutions. It's a good jumping in point. It really depends on your expectations. I see. Knights, mimic. But there was like the quad materia and the ×8 materia. Was it ×8 or would you do the quad materia and then the ×2 and then Knights of the Round? And then you just go do whatever. And it's just like 9999 every hit. It's crazy. $700X3 also had different thermal sensor locations, and the temp numbers feel off to anyone not used to seeing those figures. But also, it was not unlocked for overclocking, and there's just a lot more potential with a 9800X3D. It's a fun chip. It is. It actually has made... I remember when I got a review unit of a liquid-cooled PC with a custom liquid-cooled PC with a 7800X3D, and I'm like, why? Why would you custom liquid-cool this? There's like no reason to do that. Just give it the cooling it needs. You can't overclock it. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've been making an effort to not visibly vape on stream because I don't really support other people doing it unless you're trying to quit smoking cigarettes. Then absolutely do it. But yeah, you know, young people can be very impressionable, and I don't want to give the, you know, it's not something you should just pick up for no reason. Mime is the best materia. Yeah, look at SSD 2 prices next. Yeah. And it's only because hard drives are just unavailable for servers. It's crazy. Boys Man has spoken. 6 cores and 12 threads don't do us any good anymore. Mama save us. Okay, that's not what I said. First off, a 9600X actually is going to be an improvement over 7600 non-X. That's 6 cores and 12 threads. Plus, the rumored 9600X 3D, if that ever comes out, is going to be really good for it because the 3D V cache makes a big difference. I didn't say 6 cores, 12 threads don't do you any good. You were specific about a 7600. So, respect. Stand up, man. I don't want to stand up. I'd still suggest a 7600 non-X. I mean, honestly, if you're on a budget, you're trying to build as cheaply as possible, then yeah, it's good. And you have upgradability. And it is enough for it, but just it depends. Like, what was my main answer? It depends on your expectations. What are you expecting to get out of that? If you're expecting a high frame rate, like with, you know, settings high, things like that, then yeah, no. I almost bought a 1 terabyte SATA SSD for $60. I mean, the times of M.2s costing the same as SATA those are kind of gone right now, but we'll see. It's not as bad as RAM, though. How about Tech Jesus being the investigative journalist we didn't know we needed? Sometimes it's a bit extra. Sometimes he's a bit extra, but yeah, he's definitely doing the work. What's up, WX fan? How's it going? Sometimes we run out of M.2 slots or they bifurcate, so SATA is safer. Man, SSD prices were getting so good, though. Like to where 4 terabyte drives were within reach for anyone who's not building just a budget machine. And there it goes. Bye-bye. Thank you, AI. Man. Hey, WX, isn't there a weekly coming up on Saturday? I might try to cast for that. Let me look. I saved the link that you gave me. Let's see. No, it was the Wednesday one. Wait, no, that's tomorrow. It's tomorrow. Oh, geez. And then, yes, Saturday. Okay, at 4 p.m. The thing is, I want to do at least 1 or 2 during just the weeklies leading up to the tournament so that I have some experience before I want to cast for any of the tournament runs. 9600X 3D is showing up. Just don't know if it's real or if China-only variants. I would really like a 9600 non-X to be in stock with stock heatsink. That'd be great, Tanmay. Love to see that. Tried to put together some parts for a future AM5 build. It was fun until I saw the DDR5 6000 RAM price up to almost $500. It's crazy right now. It's crazy. A lot of those who normally show up on YouTube, in the YouTube chat for streams, weren't here on Sunday. I filmed a video talking about this during the stream. So that is being edited and it's going to be up this week. Do we think RAM ever comes back down? Says AI Rulers. Yeah, in some of the RAM suppliers or companies are estimating 1 or 2 years. So buckle up, everybody. It's going to get worse before it gets better. We doing comms tomorrow? I would love to, actually. That would be sick. Is it just you right now? I'd be down. Ads! No, not the ads. CL30 is really hard to get right now, too, over here by the looks of things. Yeah, it's rough. Picked up some Kingston MV3s earlier to get ready for some sales, as well as some Seagate Fire CUDA drives for like 112 to prepare for higher end sales. That's good. Those are good. I think when the government opens back up, everything will go back down just a little, maybe. That boy IC, that's not really how that works. The government opening back up is not going to have anything to do with the demands of AI data centers and how it's affecting the supply chain. Unfortunately, I wish that were true. No ad for hours. Suddenly, Giorgio Armani. Damn, I'm getting Armani ads. Guess I like the NAB shirt. Welcome back. So I was saying, so is it just you right now that signed up for comms tomorrow? I might need to jump in if that's the case. I can sign up for comms. Okay. So And just so you guys, so WXFan21 is someone who does casting for esports events and like speed gaming, the speed gaming channel, and different things like that. For those who watch speed running tournaments and esports events, things like that, you'll hear WXFan on some of those. And so I've been wanting to do that for Map Rando stuff because I don't think I'll ever really compete in any big way. But I love them, and I love running them, and I love watching them. So, and I like talking. So tomorrow at 7, let me see, it's Eastern, so that's going to be 6 p.m. for me. So 6 p.m. Central on Speed Gaming, one of the Speed Gaming channels on Twitch. I guess I'm gonna be casting with WXFan. That's gonna be great. So if y'all like retro, retro content and competitive stuff like that, you should tune in for sure. I don't know which speed gaming channel it's going to be though. It hasn't been listed yet. Let me go ahead and I'll sign up for commentary after stream. Speed running for me consists of heading to the fridge for milk. Yeah, you got to get those splits down for sure. Get those times down. And what is it? Specifically want ITX PC for my next build with 9950 X3D, and when RAM is 500 and M.2 gets more. ITX motherboards have extra cost as well. I mean, that's all adding to the cost. Sign up on the sheet. Yeah, for sure. I have that right in front of me right now, so I saw the time. Yeah, I'm not on the list yet. All right. Sent. Oh, wait, excuse me. Oh, there you go. That is better. There you go. Bro, RAM is $500 now. WTF. Yep. Yeah, no, the video, right now, so I am still trying to get some help on editing things together because I'm having to work on like the new intro and stuff like that. But Onware is out of town right now. Going to be back, I think, tomorrow. So he's going to work on editing that. That video should be out Friday. Thursday or Friday. It really sucks that supercards are apparently potentially canceled. Like that makes me sad. SG2 channel was assigned. Sick. All right. So Speed Gaming 2 on Twitch. Let me find it real quick. For anybody who wants to watch that, tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern, is going to be a Map Rando, the weekly race. Be sure to come check it out. And it looks like I'm going to be doing comms with WXFan21. That'll be fun. With LGN pom-poms. Absolutely. They have all kinds of events there, like really fun stuff. I'm also a big fan of of SMZ3 or the Super Metroid Link to the Past combo randomizer. They run those races. Link to the Past also speed running races, things like that. Just really cool stuff. Jokerman, it is not specifically the administration that did it. It's the AI bubble that's doing it. It's the AI surge that is doing it. And the rush to build data centers. And those data centers need hardware. Server memory, most RAM manufacturers are prioritizing producing server memory, which is different to your typical desktop memory. Storage is next and is starting to become overpriced as well. It's starting to rise in price. And it's not that these data centers are buying up all of the gaming DDR5 6000 CL30 memory. It's about the production. The RAM ICs that are needed, the chips are needed to produce the server memory. So it's just the priority of these RAM manufacturing companies to do that. So, yeah. AOB says it's Elon Musk's fault. That's part of it for sure. I'll wait to upgrade my GPU and RAM when RAM prices come back down, says AOB. Yeah, it's sensible, but the thing is, RAM prices coming back down, it's estimated to be a year or two before they'll come back down, and they're still not done going up. So, then all we can do, though, is guess and estimate. There's no telling. Alucard is right. Generally, we don't go too much into politics here. There are times where I'll dip into it, but as the streamer, that is my right to do that. And then I'll just back off of it. But I try to keep it to all PC and nerd stuff here, all computer stuff, and make it a place where everybody feels welcome. My Twitch MFA multi-factor authentication situation not improved. Don't know why. Me neither, Tanmay. That's weird. Who you calling a nerd? Nerd. All of you. I'm calling all of you nerds. And that's awesome. Here, there you go. What do you think this means? That's what that means. There is merch, but I've got merch for sure, and it even says the thing on here, but my vanity link is still broken. So I need to fix that. GPU prices in a good place for now, says Invader Skiff. For now is the key part of that there. Yeah, for now. GPU prices are good. Absolutely. AI needs to take my job, just not my salary. That's when you become a professional prompter or whatever. Make it your job. DDR5 kits ending up on eBay for $1,000 US. Well, the thing is, Frowlor, that's when it's going to be like, okay, you got to buy pre-built, because the pre-built industry will they all force each other to remain competitive, and they won't be able to scalp like that. Their prices are going up, so prices will go up, but not that much. Look forward to adding my Twitch channel, streaming powered by Breathorn. Absolutely. You know, I still haven't gotten that package, actually. I need to reach out to Adam, see what's going on with that, because it's just a nice thing they're doing for me. So I can't be like a jerk about it or something, but I do need to make sure I didn't miss anything. CPU, GPU, motherboard are lower or MSRP. Yeah, I mean, all the other components are fine. And I will say this again. We're lucky that it's not GPUs yet. GPUs are it is the most expensive component in a PC. That's why when those were inflated, it was really screwing over the industry and buyers and everything. RAM is one of the cheaper components in a PC, and it being doubled is not as catastrophic as when it was GPUs. But we'll see. We'll see. Would like to see a 5090 come through back. 5090, though, come back to MSRP. Only card that is really not right now. Yeah, 5090s are being affected. Yeah, I was actually just talking to TJ from Alexander PCs about that. Just not too long ago, he was getting them, he was able to get them for 2100, and now they're like 2600. You can buy a pre-built and take the RAM out and save money. Now, see, AOB, here's the thing. Where I got on this path of covering PCs and covering pre-builts specifically was when you couldn't buy a GPU cheaper than the price of an entire computer. I was like, I need to upgrade. I need a new GPU. And I was like, well, I'll just buy a pre-built and then I'll take the parts out of it and put it into a custom case. And that's my DIY PC. And I was like, I should tell people about this in a video. And then I was like, I should cover pre-built pricing. No one's covering pre-built companies. Why is nobody covering pre-built companies? What the hell? And then I started covering it. And then here I am now. Like, then my channel kind of blew up on YouTube and then plateaued, but that's fine. Then, you know, that's partially me. That's partially the industry slowing down. That's all kinds of reasons, but also I just haven't posted there for a while now, but that's changing. But anyways, that's what got me doing this. I wonder if it is the elements building the parts that are causing the initial jump in price. Cobalt or what? No, it's the manufacturers that are having to focus on making things for servers, for AI data centers, and they're just not producing as much consumer grade stuff, and that's making the price of consumer grade stuff skyrocket. PSU and cases hopefully won't be touched. They generally are not. So cases, though, I will say, Tombor Gaming. Cases are disproportionately affected by tariffs because no, they're not disproportionately affected. They're already kind of bad when it comes to shipping because you can fit fewer of them. The profit margins are lower than on things like CPUs and stuff. And they're big empty boxes that go into bigger boxes that go into a shipping container that can't hold that many of them compared to CPUs and GPUs and such. So, yeah. When the tariffs were hitting their hardest, case companies were hurting bad. I build my own because I'm cheap, not elitist. Tombor, that's the way to do it. And I'll tell people all the time. Part of my disclaimers in the SI Weekly videos were like, hey, if you're on the fence between building it yourself and buying a pre-built, consider building it yourself. You'll usually save money. However, right now that's not necessarily the case because DIY is outpacing pre-builts in a lot of ways in terms of price because of RAM and soon storage. Larger volume sellers have their stock of RAM and storage and stuff that they can work through still that's going to be at that lower price. Tech Grant, what's up? Based on what I'm seeing, 32 gig kits will be $300 by the end of the year. Yeah, I talked about that on Sunday. It's not looking good. DDR5 6000 is literally off the charts. Going by a chart that was on PC Part Picker. Like it went above out of the chart. It was crazy. Is the iBuyPower slate mesh good? Crazy for sneakers. That's not how this works. If you're looking for help, please fill out the form that is linked in the description because I don't know if that's what is right for you. Because I don't know what you need. Also, there are multiple PCs in the slate mesh case. So there's multiple specs listed there. You fill out that form that's linked in the description on the YouTube side of things, and then you get on this list, and I have all the info I need to help you out. If supers are confirmed to be canceled, depending on what happens, things will change with GPU prices and probably more. That's if NVIDIA decided to ramp down production of the non-super cards in anticipation of making the super cards. Yeah, we're going to see a blip of a shortage, and then things should stabilize. Like, guys, it takes a couple months from producing silicon to GPUs being on the retail shelves or in system integrators' warehouses. Or distributors' warehouses, I should say. Barutu, there's a lot of people who are not elitists that are enthusiasts, thankfully. I see that's what Tombor was responding to. I barely got my build done at the end of 2020. I missed having to pay extra for the tariffs. In 2020? That was way before tariffs. Mine is in green. Cool. Yeah, because yours is basically figured out. I know what I need to do. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing with yours already. And I already have a couple of the things I need for it. If I could afford to pay the pre-built over some same self-built, I'm lazy, it would be pre-built. For some people, like, that's not what, I will always get these buttons wrong. Okay, I was here. The button I meant to press was this one. For some people, once you've built a PC once, you're like, cool, I checked that off my list. I don't think I want to do that again. Or like, I guess I could do it again if I have to, save some money. But there are times where there are going to be pre-builts that are around the price of building it yourself. And as a matter of fact, the PC that I'm going to have I'm collaborating with Alexander PCs for is going to be around the same price as those parts, those specific parts in a PC part picker list, which is crazy. Because for around that same price, you're getting it built with an operating system installed, tested, warranted, shipped to you. Done. It's going to be awesome. And that it should be launching on Friday. So we'll talk about that on Thursday. Yeah, Angry Beaver, I'm doing a collab Black Friday PC. Well, Black Friday-ish. We're launching it on Friday so that, because, you know, Alexander PCs is a boutique builder. They don't crank out PCs at a record pace. They take their time, build them with great care and attention to detail. So it's not as fast as a high volume seller would be. So we want to make sure that some of those PCs can arrive by Christmas. Building is really fun, and not gonna lie. Yeah, that's why I do it on stream. Whenever I'm gonna build a PC, I do it on stream. It's fun. It's just not for everybody. Like, I like watching people working on cars, but I don't have the wherewithal to like swap an engine. I don't have the tools or the skills to swap an engine myself, but I like watching it. And watching it does make me a little bit more familiar with the inner workings of an engine. That doesn't mean I feel comfortable, like doing anything with the transmission or doing anything like that. I don't. It's just, I like watching that kind of content. Angry Beaver says FFS. What do you mean? Did I do something wrong? Like, I'm going to be doing a collab PC at least once a year from here on out. Like, that's a goal. And it's not, it doesn't, so if it's something that you can't get right now or whatever, then there'll be one next year. Like, I'm at least going to be doing one every Black Friday, because it can be kind of hard to track Black Friday deals all the time. So I just make my own, and that's pretty cool. That feels pretty cool to be able to do that. Tariffs and crypto. You did skip the crypto thing, right? Just an engine swap. How hard could it be? 3 hospital visits later, I'll just pay someone else to do it. Honestly, pre-builds right now are solid for the money, especially with the current RAM shortages out there. Pre-builds are already sourced for parts. Jord, that's what I was talking on Sunday for the video about how the RAM pricing is disproportionately affecting boutique builders, because a lot of them don't have a huge stock of parts. There's some that are slightly higher volume boutique builders, like Power GPU. They have a big warehouse. Well, they'll have parts. But the really, really, like the really low volume ones that will do like maybe a dozen PCs a month, and they're just like, maybe the owner of the company is the one building them, that kind of thing. They order parts to order. Like, they're going to pay the full inflated price. Yeah, Beaver, don't worry. There's going to be more collab PCs, and we're going to have them every year. You're good. This one is going to, like, I'm not going to do Alexander PCs again next year, but it's always going to be with a company that I trust, that does good work, that has a good reputation within the community. Would be cool with flat pack PC cases. You could, Fowler Cooler Master makes a few of those. It's pretty rad. Glad I got my Skytech PC last year. Absolutely. Black Friday is only the start of the deal season. You got a full month of December. True. But we want to be able to get some of these PCs to people before Christmas, so we're launching it on Friday. It really sucks, though. It really sucks that I couldn't go up there this week, because I wanted the launch to be during the live stream. you know, it is what it is. I agree. Just the cost is my number one concern if close. The pre-build warranty and reputation wins out. Yeah. Like, I mean, there's a reason that, like, the people who buy from CyberPower are the ones who just, like, buy whatever looks okay. And if you don't look it up, you don't find out they have really bad customer service and all that. And that iBuyPower has really good customer service. You just don't know that if you don't do research. You got to do your research. But Cherokee Vapors, hope you're doing well. It's been a minute. I have an extra 32 gig kit of 6030 from last year. There you go. I mean, first off, if you sell it to someone for a reasonable price, you're going to be doing someone a big favor. But you're going to be selling yourself short. I mean, like, I don't even know how to approach something like that if it's a community member who is selling something. Because, like, you have something that's of high value right now. And now it's not scaled like I mean, it would scale with GPU pricing, right? Where, like, GPUs were. But I wouldn't want community members to be scalping within my community, right? But if you're just going based off of, like, here's what it costs on Amazon, here you go, then sure. But I don't know. I don't ever want to, like, if you want to give somebody a good deal, I'm 100% behind you on that. Yeah, I have been talking about that. Skytech has kind of got the lock on price to performance. I have looked off stream. I've been looking around, and it's no contest, man. Is there a price hint for the Alexander PCs collab? Around $2,000. Yeah, just under $2,000 for 1440p gaming and streaming. Kind of like the one I did last year with Skytech, except there's a big difference. With Skytech, I did it to where there were two PCs, one at around $1,200-1,300 that was 1440p gaming only, and the other that was around $2,000 that was 1440p gaming and streaming. This one is similar to that, except instead of having the two differently priced systems, you can choose either platform, Intel or AMD. So if you want to do, like, video editing, this is a pretty solid PC to get into that if you go with the Intel side of things. SSA, I think. George says, "Lol, never buy Temu or AliExpress." I've gotten some things from there. It is fun. And Zach's Tech, Zach swears by, I think, AliExpress, or is it AliExpress? Yeah, he gets CPUs off of there, and they're fine. I don't plan on selling the RAM kit, and you hold on to that for dear life. Summer Gaming. The pre-built companies today are so much improved than the dude you're getting a Dell days. Damn, I'm old. Yeah, or the Cowprint Gateway PCs. Yep. Or compact PCs. Just a giant plastic pieces that would be on the front that had just zero airflow. Good Lord. Zach is for AliExpress. However, you don't want to get any CPUs from AliExpress now since prices are so much higher there. Are they? Dude, compact. Oh, yeah. Great times. I would like some of the creative things they would do with, like, the front panel I/O. That was fun. Which is important, though, because you had, like, very little rear I/O on those. System integrators not the same as Dell, HP, etc. You just had to know about them, but they're not always boutiques either. I used to have a local shop I told people to go to for a custom desktop. Well, yeah. System integrators are different from OEMs. That is true. I have a whole video on the PC World YouTube channel talking about that. Although I can't watch that one myself. I rambled a little too much for my own liking. But it was literally we finished streaming the full nerd, and he was like, "All right, let's do a video. Like, let's talk about that. What do you want to talk about?" And I was like, "Well, we talked in the full nerd about, like, OEM versus SI. Why don't we do a video about that?" And it was that much preparation. That was the preparation that I'd had. I did not collect my thoughts, but that's just how it is when Adam and I sit down and talk. When we just sit down and chat, it's like that. I tried to stay focused, guys. I do. But, like, you see me on the streams. It's almost like I have a disorder that causes a deficit of attention span. I don't know what they probably have a name for that. Retro builds are all the rage. Yeah, Silverstone has something for you if that's something you're into, for sure. Big fan of PC case that is a bit colorful and rough looking, like thermal take cases as well. I don't know if I would say rough looking. It's just different looking. I mean, it's polygonal. My favorite part of back in the day PCs was some of them could be used for tank ammo. Yeah. Look at the Geometric Future M5 case. I like Geometric Future. They make cool cases. You also had ADHD. Wow, I never thought you had that. Are you sure? You know you're broke when you can't afford to pay attention. It's not that I can't. It's I invest I invest in multiple things, too many things at once. That's what it is. Yeah. Okay, well, we don't have anybody on the list right now who I'm helping out, but oh well, that is what it is. I was being sarcastic. My meter was off, I guess. I had an e-machine back in the day. Got it at Circuit City, almost free with mail-in rebates. Good Lord. You know you're broke when you're looking at life in 144p. Your channel deserves more subs, man. That's okay. We'll see. It's fine. I haven't been posting YouTube content for like a while. It's coming back. I recorded a video live on stream. I did a recording session for PC Gateway. We're not calling it SI Weekly anymore because, good Lord, it has not been weekly, that's for sure. But PC Gateway, the show is coming back, basically. And that's going to come out later this week. But if I don't post videos, the channel shouldn't grow. You know? It has been growing very, very slowly, but not nearly as much as when I regularly post and there's interesting stuff happening. I need to add a storage drive to my streaming machine. If I'm going to be recording episodes locally, I need to do that. That's a Coke you're drinking. It is a Coke Zero that I'm drinking. You probably couldn't tell because you're watching in 144p, so, as you said. You don't want to be the 50th person to post about Ramageddon. Well, see, the thing is, SSA, I'm talking about an angle that people aren't talking about, which is how it's going to affect pre-builts and particularly boutique builders disproportionately. That's something that needs to be said, especially if you're looking at some of the current stuff. Like I've talked about it earlier, but people reacting poorly to seeing the price of boutique builds and with zero context as to the benefit of what the benefits that come with getting a boutique build. So I don't know. Some of that stuff I talked about, I might throw into the video, or make it a separate short one, just because it needs to be said. That boy, I see. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah. Getting those kind of things right now, not very easy. I'll tell you that. Please stay hydrated and drink more water, says Tan Mei. I drink a ton of water. And also, I used to not feel this way. This is still mostly water. I just don't drink 6 or 7 of these a day. I don't do that. I have one every now and then as a treat. And the artificial sweeteners, those things will do this, do that. I would have to eat it by the pound. I'd have to eat aspartame or whatever artificial sweeteners by the pound to have any of those negative effects. It's totally fine to have a diet soda as a treat once or twice a day. It will not have a lasting effect. You'd be fine. I drink a ton of water. Posture check I do need. Thank you, Angry Beaver. Yeah, I got in the habit of drinking a lot of water back when I was doing ISP stuff, doing enterprise network setups and things like that. Crawling, in summer in Texas. So I drink a lot of water as a matter of habit. So, good. Okay, sure, I'll hydrate.
I'll just spill it all over myself. That'd be great. Aspartame's only bad for me when I try to spell it. Hey, there you go. Tom, if you're looking at something, defo look at Skytech for price of performance spending on a budget. Lots of really good choices. Wait, what? Tombor was... Oh, the Hulk. What's up? I already responded to you, the Hulk, but I didn't say hi. Welcome to the stream. Let me see. What was... Why are you saying that to Tombor? They were talking about aspartame. As someone who does a help desk, I can 100% understand why these boutique builders or SI charge what they charge for their warranty. Help desk, I'm lucky I know what I'm doing with PCs. Yeah. You got me thinking about water. I drink 3 to 7 600 milliliter water bottles. Like a month? It's the kidney stones I'm more worried about. Yeah, you have to drink just dark sodas like for a while, unless you're prone to them. If you're talking about kidney stones, I do not drink enough soda to necessarily worry. I drink way more water. He was literally talking about prices and budgeting a PC earlier, I believe. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Anybody who's looking for help on a PC, just fill out the form. I'm not currently helping anybody. You would get a one-on-one session where I help you find the right PC for you. Now, do this if you're looking for a PC within the next month. If it's going to be longer than that, you should wait till you're closer to actually buying, because a lot can change between now and whenever you might be ready to buy. But yeah, just click the link right there in chat, fill out the form. Alucard just posted it there. And if you're watching on YouTube, click the link in the description. You do need to be here and be active in chat for me to help you, though. By the way. Yeah, Sailor X, I mostly drink carbonated water. Yeah, that's what I prefer. But yeah. Yeah, soda not worth it. Mom passed of disabilities from soda? I'm not sure what you mean by that. I mean, look, if you take anything and you have too much of it, you will have health issues. That's all I drank was this. If all I drank was this, and this is zero sugar in this, right? Regular Coke, a ton of sugar. That's a problem, right? But if all I drank was those, I would have eventually a health issue. You don't do too much of any one thing. Diabetes. I got you. Yeah. Well, not having any sugar in it is not gonna. That means it's. I very recently had labs. I'm not even close to pre-diabetic, so I'm okay. I'm okay. Who would have thought you have to be in chat to get help? Right? Is your thermal take a 600? Yes. It's also a B, a purple B. I guess you missed the stream where I built that one, but I built it on stream. It was really fun. I think that was my birthday stream. So on the 11th of September. You mean my Intel 8th Gen i5 with 2 monitor while I'm Googling how to fix your issue? Huh? Will Thermaltake T250 fit in Astral 5090? Fowler, if you're worried about fitment, just don't buy an Astral 5090. It's the biggest graphics card you can buy. If you're worried about fitment, get a smaller 5090 is my advice to you. Like if you're worried about, like, you're going out of your way to buy the most expensive and biggest 5090 there is. Now, if you want to have things like the sensing for temperatures of the individual pins on the power connector, stuff like that, that's cool. But just understand, like, you need to know the measurements of the GPU and just look up the case and see what it has. Because you can sit there, ask me, hey, well, okay, what about the Tower 250? Okay, what about this case? What about that case? So I got it already. Just get the Tower 600. Then you don't have to worry about anything. There you go. Just don't. That doesn't work with an ITX. It works. You could put an ITX motherboard in there. No, I don't know. Yeah, please get that checked out. That's, yeah. Better having a higher-end processor, but I have so many issues with their Office products or involving upside down. The fun part is that Google helps a bit for most solutions, and nobody else cares about your emails or other applications. One of the main things I learned from IT school, I went to school for network administration, but I eventually just went into IT. Things break, I fix them, that kind of stuff. I did do network administration for, I was an IT admin for a while too. But the main thing I learned, because it doesn't matter what your tech job is, you're going to be the tech person for everybody in your family and their friends, your friends and their families. That's who you are now. The thing is to learn to say, I don't know. I can find out. Learn to research. Learn to Google stuff. Yeah, you should not put an ITX motherboard in a Tower 600. But you can. Baseball 12th grade chemistry teacher Diet Coke uses a sodium-based sweetener that has a ton of salt. Well, that was very salty. This is Coke Zero. This actually has an additional artificial sweetener in it. But yeah, no. Certain sodas can make you thirstier. That's how they get you to drink more soda. I just don't. I'll have one, and then I'm like, cool, I scratched that itch, because they're also expensive, and I don't want to spend that money. There's a lot of people who will cast aspersions on things because they're afraid that what they're saying might be true. What I listen to is I listen to people who are certified nutritionists and who have studied this kind of stuff, and most of those people agree. Yeah, a couple of diet sodas a day won't hurt you. Actually, just drink water and drink other stuff. Like, you'll be fine. Now, if there's someone who's addicted to them that's trying to get off of them, don't listen to me. If you're prone to addiction and you feel like that's all you would drink if you started again, don't do it just because I said so, okay? Well, I was stuck on him drinking pop. He is completely fine. It's all right to have soda once in a while. I drink Mountain Dew and Pepsi and have for over 20 years, and I'm still kicking. I drink water too, obviously. What's up, FGN? Well, it's just if people see me doing something, that suddenly becomes super important. I don't know why. Well, because I'm on screen, and also it's just, I don't know. When something seems unhealthy, everybody becomes a nutritionist immediately somehow. I don't know how that is. I've actually, you guys got to understand, from my previous doctor's appointment with labs to my most recent one, my cholesterol is way down. I've lost weight. I'm getting in better shape. I'm okay. Take care of your own health. Be concerned, because here's the thing that I find interesting, and this is I had a problem with this too. I would tell other people about healthy stuff, and I would not take good care of myself. Make sure that whatever advice you're wanting to give, you're focused more on your own health. Take good care of yourself. Don't be like I was, because I understood things about nutrition. I just wouldn't pay attention to them myself. But no, guys, my weight, I've been losing weight. My cholesterol is at a safe, everything's at a safe level now. I got to get my good cholesterol higher though. Eat more grains, things like that. But yeah. Boy, I see says facts. I just taught myself to build PC over 6 months ago, and now my time think I know all tech like I ain't even went to college yet. Let me learn first. Well, yeah, I mean, that's once you're getting into something, you get really excited about it. That boy I see. So you're going to immerse yourself in it. Just the main thing that you got to understand especially with things like that are fast moving in development, like PC technology, which changes very quickly. As long as you go into it knowing I got a lot to learn still, and you always will, You'll be just fine. We care about you. That's all we care. I appreciate that, that boy. See, you're good. It's all good. And Zelmov said what I said earlier. Anything in excess is bad. You just got to balance things, right? I sit here and respect Brave for dealing with these people. I couldn't do customer facing anything. It's not dealing with it. Like I look forward to streaming. You guys, just to be clear, I look forward to hanging out with you guys. And I might give y'all crap sometimes, but I do that with like my friends at IRL too. I give them crap too. So that's just how I be. I need to get work on my diet as well. Get a workout routine. Time's my problem right now. It feels. It's one of the things you really have to fight to prioritize, because I hate exercising. I have to force myself to do it. I love the feeling that I get after I've exercised consistently for a few weeks. Like, that feels amazing. But I don't like the work it takes to get there. And I like my free time a lot. I don't have a lot of it, but I like the free time that I get. So sacrificing that, well, you got to think of it this way. You'll have more free time because you won't be dead if you exercise regularly and eat in a decent fashion. You have more free time when you live longer, I guess. I suppose you could put it that way. Experience most things within 2 weeks, and like that, I stopped. I want to go maybe 1 year just to show myself I can. Yeah, then make it 2. Yeah, I told y'all earlier, I've been trying to vape off camera because that's how I got off tobacco. And if you're gonna do it for that reason, then go for it. But there's some people who will vape because people they like or respect or in whatever they see them doing it, and they're like, yeah, that looks cool. I want to do that. Like, whatever. I don't think y'all are that impressionable, but I always want to be careful with that kind of stuff. Couple of them a day is a lot. Culturally speaking, I would get a flying chunkla. Okay, yeah. I am following it all. I am pre-diabetic based on my last month's test. I'm addicted to breads. Breads will do it, and I love bread. Tamme, I'm half Belgian, like directly half Belgian. My parents came here from Europe. So I am biologically driven to eat good bread and lots of chocolate. I have to be careful. I couldn't do it, but I could definitely with you IRL. If you're ever back in NC, let me know. I've never been to North Carolina, but I will. I will try. Do you also get the people you tell them what caused the issue and they're like, no, it can't be that? Oh, you're talking about when doing customer support, tech support? Yeah. I smoke a tobacco pipe. Love my tobacco. A pipe is not, unless it's constant. For me, it was cigars, and I would have one every couple of weeks, once a month. And then it wasn't that infrequently. Then it was a few a week of big hand-rolled cigars. And then it was like it was getting out of hand because I went on with that for a few years. I couldn't really taste food. I was just in bad health because you're not supposed to inhale cigars, but you can still get mouth cancer from smoking cigars and all of that. And so I went to vaping because I was addicted to nicotine, and I needed to get off of that. Also, cigars can be horrendously expensive. Holy crap! Same thing with cigarettes. But getting away from that, vaping is a really good option for that. If you're not already addicted to nicotine, don't pick it up just to vape. Why would you do that? It's just a money pit. It costs money. See, the chocolate turtle is my weakness. It's very specific. See, Alucard, and this is not a criticism, but I've always kind of taken issue with the phrase, dumbing it down. And this is not a criticism of you. It's a very commonly used phrase, but it's something we can talk about, right? What does that imply? Dumbing it down. I'll let you say it, or you guys talk about it. But what does it imply that when you're explaining something that you had to learn to someone who has not had any reason or opportunity to learn that yet, why do we call it dumbing it down? They're not dumb for not knowing something that at some point you didn't know either. Like, knowledge is not the same as intelligence. You know what I mean? And I never, like, one of the reasons that I feel like I'm good at talking about tech is that I never want to make someone feel bad for not knowing stuff that I wasn't born knowing. So I try not to use phrases like dumbing it down. It might slip out now and then because it's such a common phrase. But yeah, and it's not me criticizing you for saying that. I know I've said it in the past. But it's something that we should discuss and think about. Like, even just casually, we can sometimes come off as elitist. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people out there who don't understand anything about computers when it comes to building them or servicing them or setting them up or doing anything like that. But like, there's stuff they know how to do that I in a million years I would not be good at. Or maybe if I give it a year, I can maybe learn, right? But or give it a few years, I could maybe learn. But like, there's all kinds of expertise, and I just don't want to. I don't know. I guess as someone who makes content for people who are brand new to this stuff, it's always at the forefront of my mind to try and. I'm not here to show off how smart I am, because it doesn't have to do with being smart. It's just informed, you know? I also use vaping to quit smoking and then nicotine. I made my own e-liquid, kept stepping down the nic until 0%. Now I don't even get the urge to vape. That's awesome. I made my own liquid for a while, actually. I used to make my own e-liquid. But it got harder to do here. The supply place that I would go to just shut down, so. And I didn't feel like ordering that kind of stuff on the internet. You know what I mean? But, yeah. Yeah, hard part about help desk is speaking to them like they're 5 without being condescending to them. Well, if you're speaking to them like they're 5, that already is a bit condescending. Like, they're an adult that just hasn't had, again, the reason or opportunity to learn what you've just so happened to know that they don't. The problem is this. Anytime you know something somebody doesn't, and you're in a position where you have to explain that thing to them, you have to understand you're at a disadvantage where you're going to sound like a know-it-all very easily. The default way of just explaining something to somebody can very easily come off as being a know-it-all, and some people are extra sensitive to that. So, I mean, I did customer-facing IT support and in person as well, which is actually better because then you can use things like body language and everything to sort of make it a more sort of you're being professional, but you're not being a snot. You know, like, you can be sort of be casual and just informative, you know, and hand wavy about stuff that's like, you know, this is, I'm not going to get into that too much. Here's the stuff you need to know, and let me go through it with you. And then if they leave that situation understanding it better, awesome. If they don't care to understand it, I don't care. Their money's still green. They're paying their bill. And I let them know what the problem was without making them feel like an idiot. Part of it is more or less simplifying it so much that it will not make sense. Even explaining in the simplest way as possible and having the end user still fail at anything with me trying to help them just makes me question my own intelligence or logic. Remote support is very difficult because of the small, like, little clicks and menus and things that we just do by habit, that we take for granted. Like, for a lot of people, when you know something and you're familiar with it, someone not knowing that thing and being familiar with it can be frustrating. That frustration is like, you got to get over that if you want to be good at it. If you want to be good at support, being good at tech support is not about knowing everything. By the way, it's about being able to help people and being able to talk to people in a way that's not, and being able to listen and all of those things, and being patient with people who are not going to be patient with you. Like, that's what actually makes good tech support, not knowing everything. If you're going into it saying, I know a lot of stuff, I can do tech support, oh boy, hope you're a patient person by nature, because you're about to have a really bad time, and because of that, the other person on the other end of the line is about to have a really bad time. Yeah, in-person tech support is way easier. Kryptonics says, hey there, I have a question. Just bought a PC that someone custom built for me, and I plugged it in, but the Wi-Fi is really bad, and I'm sitting on one bar. Do you know what my problem might be? Yeah, it might be too far away from your wireless thing, but also you might not have plugged in the antennas or attached the antennas. A motherboard that has Wi-Fi integrated will have little screw-on antennas, or it'll have an antenna with like an extension that you have to attach. If you didn't hook that up, your Wi-Fi is going to suck, but it will still connect in some cases. You don't have an antenna. If you look on the back of your PC, you should see two like screw-on things there. I'll find a picture for you. 1 second. They should have given you the antenna. It might be in a box, a motherboard box or something like that, if they gave you the boxes for stuff. Yeah. So you need that. If not, you can buy one on Amazon. Let me look it up here. 1 second. It looks like these right here. And then the antenna will either be a couple of things like this that stick off the back like that, or it'll be one that has an extension cable like this. Which these are the best, by the way. And you can just buy these. You can just buy them from Walmart, 25 bucks. And it gives you a much better connection than the ones that stick out, that just sit behind your PC. Because if your PC is close to the wall, your antennas are close to two very solid objects. And the one that it's connected to that is trying to get signal through has a lot of electrical interference in it. Electromagnetic interference in there. So, yeah, make sure the drivers are up to date. But if someone built the PC for you, hopefully they did that for you. And if someone built a PC for you, feel free to reach out to them for support. That's part of selling PCs, is you need to be ready to support that person, especially at the very beginning when they're first getting it set up. The funny thing, Alucard, is it's really easy for me to talk about tech support as someone who hasn't had to do it for a very long time, other than here and there. Like who hasn't had to do consistent on the phone tech support kind of stuff. It's very easy for me to get on a high horse and be like, well, you just got to do this and that. I remember how hard it was. I'm not saying any of it is easy. It's really rough, especially with people who are already upset the moment you pick up the phone. Like, bro, we're in this together. I'm trying to help you. Relax. Thank you. That makes sense. Awesome. Also, the closer you are to your Wi-Fi source, your router, the better. Make sure that that is not in a place where it is under stuff, behind stuff. Make sure that it is open air as much as possible. That'll also make a very big difference, not just for your PC, but for every device. Oh, yeah. Senior employees. Not just senior employees, but also senior employees. I got you. Or the ones that will question why one thing or another is not allowed and them fighting with you about it. Yeah, I got you. Tell them YouTube will teach that how I learned, right? That's how a lot of people learned. But yeah, they don't. The thing is, if someone already has a professional job they do, I'll tell you right now, Alucard, the people that are the hardest to help, law offices, lawyers. Because they, like, as much as they will tell you tell their clients, like, I understand you're paying a lot for this service. That doesn't mean I can just magically do stuff. They'll be like, I pay this much for you to make sure my stuff works. Why doesn't it just work? Like, it's electronics, buddy. Anything electronics and complicated. That, like, I'll be telling them, like, hey, I said you didn't need this feature or device. You wanted it, or whatever. Or like, hey, I recommended this one that would have been a lot easier for you to use. You didn't want to spend the extra money. Here we are. Like, I know there's some lawyers that aren't like this. Also, doctors' offices are rightfully very insistent that everything continuously work perfectly with zero problems. But yeah, for law offices, that's where I've had some of the most fun. That's for sure. I guess it depends from one to the other. But the absolute most cheapskate clients I've had have been law offices. It's crazy. They will fight you on labor hours, on quotes, on everything. If possible, run an Ethernet cable directly from the router. That is the most consistent way to connect. That's for sure. But hey, Kryptonics, congrats on the new PC. That's very cool. I work with bankers and finance people. I think lawyers and doctors will be fine. They're probably right there with it. Okay, I feel you. Microsoft broke recovery mode, safe mode the other week. I don't know if they might have updated that already or patched it. I don't know. But yeah, Kryptonics, if you're still here, I have a video on setting up your brand new gaming PC for the first time on the YouTube channel. You might want to check that out. It's one of my most viewed videos, and people say it's very helpful. So yeah, a lot of people say it's a very helpful video, the best video. Every time I say people say something, I always just goes directly to that. I need to not do that. Who are the people? Yeah. Let's have a Microsoft account on hand to be ready if it happens. Yeah. Finance bros are insufferable. I work with them. Insufferable is a strong word and likely accurate in that case. Although I'll say, just like any other demographic or work type of professional, there are exceptions to everything. Some of them are going to be totally cool, probably. Oh, I want to talk about something real quick, by the way. So, who was here during my sick PCs unboxing for Braxton's PC? If you were here, you might remember that when I unboxed the Syntec keyboard, this thing is absolutely awesome. As long as you don't need Wi-Fi wireless functionality, rather. If you don't need wireless functionality and you like the idea of the magnetic switches, it's nice, it's weighty. It's small, which is great for like a tight setup, or if you're gaming a lot, you don't need a numpad, that kind of stuff. It's a really, really nice keyboard. I told them that I opened it on stream. They didn't ask me for any content. They didn't ask me to do anything. They're just happy I liked it and said I hope you enjoy it. And they were like, they were so nice. They've always been really nice. They're like, we're going to be at CES again next in January. We hope to see you then. You know, because whenever I meet up with these guys, it's just always, or like I go to their booth. I don't do content for them or anything, but we just chat about stuff, and they're always super nice. And they're like, "We've missed talking to you. We'll see you at CES." Syntec is really cool. They're a really cool company. If you're looking for a really nice keyboard, you should seriously consider this one. If you don't need wireless, if you're really competitively gaming though, you should probably have a wired keyboard anyway. But the Chronos 68 Rapid Trigger magnetic keyboard is really, really sick. I really like this thing. Plus, if you want to adjust anything, like the when it actually activates the key, at what part of keystroke, rapid trigger, RGB, all of that, it's a web-based configurator. That's super cool. No software that you have to install locally on your PC. I am vengeance. I have the best vengeance. That killed me. Oh, Mike, you're so funny. Like USB keyboards and mice didn't work at all. Oh yeah. Ooh yeah. I was here. You were here. After a long time, you'll learn who's going to be your big headaches. I now down inside when I see certain names in the call ID when they call. Oh, yeah. Oh, it doesn't matter what kind of IT, what kind of service you provide. If it's to a specific group of people, company, if you're an internal IT or third party, it doesn't matter. You're going to get a few people who will. It's like they make a hobby out of bothering you and complaining and not understanding. And yeah, that does happen. You will get those. My sample size is pretty big. Almost all the bro are busy asking for free stuff for their personal stuff or busy pitching their next big MLM schemes. Take another sip of Coke Zero. Don't freak out anybody. I know it's because you care, and I do appreciate that. Okay, I didn't expect my camera to freak out. It's because if I block my face, it does not know how to track. So, well, let me try. Let me see. Hold on. It's not bad, actually. This thing's pretty solid. It's DJI, so yeah, of course. Well, I don't know what to tell y'all, chat. This is the second time I've had someone fill out the form and then just go completely silent. I need to check with TJC because he was going to build a sample PC for the. Are we calling it the Bragionaire again? I don't know, because it's like a version of the Legionnaire. Anyways, he was supposed to send me pictures, so I actually need to record something for the YouTube video, saying, "Hey, things changed. I'm not going this week, and this is what the PC looks like. It's launching on Friday. What day is that? Friday is going to be the 15th. Saturday, Friday the 14th." I should record that. Yeah, Legionnaire 2.0 or 3.0 or whatever, yeah. Oh, also, can I show you something? This, let me turn that off and press this. Look at this keycap I got at TwitchCon. Look at this thing. It's a custom handmade Umbreon keycap. Isn't that awesome? My hands are shaky. I'm sorry. I just pressed escape, so I was like, I didn't even show them that. Anyways. I like Pokemon. I don't talk about Pokemon that often, but I like Pokemon a lot. And Umbreon's one of the best. Period. Life happens. They must be tired and dozed off. It also depends. Like Tanmay, you're in a very different time zone than here. And I have to keep that in mind. You know? Maybe they're in... Actually, no. That says they're in the United States. So never mind. Not that different. I got calls from friends of the family, and it was when it was something like they needed to call their ISP. They still wanted me to take care of that for them. Oh, that does bother me, because like you understand, I can't access your account for you. Like you, if it's just for convenience sake, I don't like that. That's like, what is my time less valuable than yours? No, it's not. We're all put on this earth, and we all have the time that we have. Yours is no more valuable than mine, or no less valuable than mine. Period. Never mind then. Oh, it's okay. No, they might. That's the thing, guys. I always say this: if you have stuff that you got to, if you fill out the form and you have other stuff you got to do and you got to leave, you can just tell me, and then I won't be here like pining away, just waiting. Sorry, but I can't reach out to your ISP. I don't have your account. Well, Alucard, that's when you just or Chaos, that's when you just build them. All right, okay. It's $75 an hour. That's my time. I'll go ahead and send you an invoice. September, what's up? Dude, so cool. I found your stream. I'm buying a 5090 PC today or tomorrow. I'm building it, though, not pre-built. That's cool. Very cool. September, that's exciting stuff. What made you go 5090, though? Was it just to go as insano as you could with your components? Or are you doing stuff with, like, AI or 3D design or anything that requires 32 gigs of VRAM? I'm out of curiosity. I'm asking. Also, they know how much I would charge them if I was billing them. I guess I could record that thing real quick. It's just an add-in thing for the video. We could do that. I should do that real quick just to get that to drop into the video. Let me open this first. It's really annoying. The stuff that was supposed to be one-day shipping is now estimated November 13th. Yeah, great. Thanks. If they're air shipping stuff, though, there's a lot of flights and stuff that are getting canceled or delayed. So it's understandable, I suppose. Oh, sweet. I've got a meeting tomorrow. It's going to be a good one. That's not the right time. Hold on a second, guys. Sorry. Okay. I know I've been talking a lot about stuff with like Splave and all that, but there's some exciting things coming. Some exciting things happening, guys. And Alan is such a good dude. He's a really nice guy. And his team is really awesome. Okay, what was I doing? I was looking for... Wait, where is that email? Did he not send it to the right email? He might have sent it to the wrong email. He did. He did. Okay. Okay. Got it. Purely for gaming, story games like AAA titles, I guess PC Part Picker link might be easier than just listing it out. I mean, if you can do a thing where I just evaluate what you bought, but I'll tell you right now, September, it's not as helpful after you spend money. If you're looking for advice, you usually want to get it before you buy stuff. And I probably would have told you don't get a 5090. Like that, if you're just doing 4K AAA titles. Yeah, it'll give you 15%, 20, 30% maybe more in performance, but for double the price, which doesn't really match up. You know what I mean? You can literally get two 5080s for the price of one 5090, which they sort of leverage the 5090 more towards gaming and also productivity stuff and all that. But hey, your money. That's just the opinion that you would get from me. But if you do want me to look at a PC part picker list, all you got to do is click the link in the description, fill out that form so I understand what actually your needs are for the PC, your budget, all that stuff. And at the very end, there's a place where you can type in a company you might be interested in for a pre-built. Instead, just drop the link right there. There you go. Oh, you haven't got it yet. I thought you said you were building it today or tomorrow. Okay. Just wanted to go psycho with a new PC. I got you. I got you. Okay. Yeah, you can send a PC part picker list. I mean, if you're the work raffle PC I'm providing to someone in December, so many people at my work have been doing some things that are pretty much fireable and against policies, not providing something else for them to do it with gives me concerns. I've been taking time about it, make sure they know the PC is not for work use at all. Ah, okay. I see. I see what you're saying. Okay. I'm going to record something really quick for, let me get my camera centered and have it stop moving. Stop right there. Thank you, camera. That works. And I can also do this. There we go. And this. So I don't have the pictures for it yet, but I'll be able to, I should be able to, I should have them by the time the video is going to go up and just drop them into the video. Okay. Just do that right there. All right. Recording and good to go. Hey, Later Bray here. Just want to give you guys a quick update. I'm actually not going to Chicago this week to do the live stream for the launch of the collab PC with Amazon. Oh, okay. I'm not actually going to Chicago to do the live stream on the launch day for the collab PC with Alexander PCs. It's actually going to be next week that we do the live stream where we're going to build the system live on stream and you can check it out and all that. But we are launching the PC on the 15th. I'm sorry, not the 15th. But we are launching the PC on Friday, the 14th of November, so that because it is Boutique Builder, they want to get in earlier to start building them, so some people can get them before Christmas and all that. Just Boutique Builders do take a little bit longer than your high volume sellers to get PCs built. There's more attention to detail and everything. One person builds a PC from start to finish. Now, these PCs, I do have, I should hopefully have a couple pictures of what it's going to look like. Let me put that up here. And just really nice looking cases with a nice little display on there to show you some telemetry. And there's going to be an AMD version and an Intel version. Both of these, either of these, will be for $1998, and it's around the same price as getting it just on a PC part picker list and building it yourself, which is crazy considering you're getting a lifetime warranty with it. Shipping's going to be included. Cable extensions in the color of your choice, and shipping. All that. I might have already said shipping, but it's crazy. Like, that's a crazy deal considering it's about the same price as building it yourself. So and the craziest thing is Alexander PCs does not do Black Friday normally. They don't do sales or deals like that. This is something that they're doing for our community, for you guys, and that's really special. So if you're around that price point for that $1,998, about $2,000, and you're looking for 1440p gaming and streaming, and also, honestly, I think if you go with the Intel system, also great place to start with video editing. And we're going to have a few options that you can upgrade, like the GPU, RAM capacity, storage, things like that. Be sure to check this thing out. The link will be in the description once that page is live. There we go. All right. And that's how it's done. There you go. There we go. Just needed that for the video that's coming out this week. Iwan Bila says, is RX 9070 XT or GTX? It's RTX. 5070 12 gig with DLSS better. The 9070 XT is generally going to win over the 50. It's going to win over the 5070 pretty easily because it was aimed more at the 5070 Ti, whereas the 9070 was aimed at beating the 5070. So, yeah, the 9070 XT is going to beat the 5070, but it also costs more than the 5070, generally speaking, depending on what deals you can find. Were the supercards supposed to be higher VRAM? Yeah, but because of upcoming potential VRAM shortages, I believe they're canceling the supercards for now. So, no supers. Not at CES this year, like this coming year, like we were expecting. Very likely. Anyway, Micro Rants unpacking is done. Need to crash. Have a great night. All right, Alucard, have a good one. Well, still don't have really anything going on here. It is 11:02. I'm probably going to call it so I can work on that video, guys. I need to get that video out. And we're not helping anybody tonight. Like, that's just been... It hasn't been anybody who filled out the form. So we'll be back to it on Sunday. I guess I'm going to film on Thursday. We'll be back to it on Thursday. Back for another stream on Thursday. Hopefully we'll have a few people who will not only fill out the form, but actually be here for me to help them. That'd be cool. So we're going to call it for tonight. Wait, we got a different person from Australia? That's not the person who was talking about it. That's a different person. Right? As I was saying that, somebody filled out the form who was also from Australia, but it's a different person because they put a different name. Wait, hold on. September, why didn't you put September here? Because your name in chat is September. Like, I know it shows right here. Like, there's a picture there for you, so that I can. Okay, then, but you're okay. Just want to show you real quick. I'm not sure if you know this, but that's not what it says here. It says Twitch or YouTube. What is your Twitch/YouTube handle? Whichever one you're going to be using is. How am I supposed to verify this is you? Come on. Anyway, yeah. Not trying to be a pain about it, but I seriously, I put things in bold, in italics, and I do this not because it can be genuinely confusing for me. Anyways, what I would say is if you're coming back on Sunday, hang out on Twitch. The link for that channel is right there in the description. Just hang out there, and then your name will match, and we'll be good to go. Yeah. You're good. You're good. It's okay. You know what I used to do though? There's a reason I also put here. If you ignore the instructions in any of the questions, you agree to be roasted on stream. It's because I might not come off that way, but I'm good natured about it. I'm just like, hey, come on, what's going on here? Come on. I put pretty pictures there and everything. Come on. It's like that. It's not like, well, how dare you? Anyways. All right. Okay, cool. Yeah, just hang out on Twitch and the name will be just right. Okay. Also, then you get to be on the screen because Twitch corporate is insecure and they don't allow us to put YouTube chat on screen. So that makes it a little bit more part of the experience, I guess, for anyone watching the VOD. And they see it right there in case the chat's missing. I miss those. Yeah, roasting. I stopped wanting to roast people who are trying to get help. I realized it's kind of counterproductive if I'm trying to be the person who is welcoming to those who are new to this, to then roast them for missing something in the instructions. Like, nah, I don't want to do that anymore. Go for it, mate. And Aussie, we got thick skin. That's, yeah. All good. Yeah, I mean, you have to, right? Magpie season. Anyways. Okay, no, I'll look forward to it. Well, I'll be happy to help you out then. I'm going to, Sundays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, around 8 p.m. Central, we do this. Up until 11 p.m. to midnight. Just whatever time. But yeah, we're going to call it for, we're going to call it for tonight. Yeah, I'm also not sure what time it is there. But okay. Also, I'm really tired. I told you guys at the beginning of the stream, I woke up too late to take my chronic fatigue syndrome medication because then it would totally screw me up if I took it too late in the day. So I am exceptionally tired right now. All right, let's drop a raid for Wait, what is he playing? Oh, God. All right, let's drop a little raid for Manly Reviews. Good friend of mine. Good guy. Let's do that. If you're wanting to join the raid, if you're watching on YouTube, want to join the raid, click the link in the description to come to the Twitch channel. Join me for it. Manly Reviews is an awesome dude. Liam's a really cool guy, and I haven't raided him in a while, so I think it's about time. It's not a huge raid, but, you know, it's about quality, not quantity. So join me for that. And let's go and say hi to my friend Liam, who is playing, it looks like Ocarina of Time. So, fun stuff. All right, guys. That's going to be it. Thank you so much for joining me. And I will see y'all on Thursday. I hope y'all have a good time between now and then. Okay. All right. Until then, take care. See you then.
Let's go, nerds!